Book of Heaven, Volume 31, January 18th, 1933. Loneliness in which Jesus is put by those who receive him sacramentally. His tears, his pains, mute species and living species. Continuation of the life of Jesus in the creature. Having received Holy Communion, I was doing my usual thanksgivings, and my highest good, Jesus, made himself seen afflicted and taciturn, as though he felt the need of company. And I, drawing close to him, tried to console him by offering to remain always united with him, so as to never leave him alone. And Jesus seemed all content, and in order to pour out his sorrow, told me,
"My daughter, be faithful to me in never leaving me alone, because the pain of loneliness is the most oppressing. In fact, company is the nourishment of the outpouring of one who suffers, while without company one suffers the pain and is forced to feel the hunger, because one who would give him the outpouring of the nourishment is missing. Everything is missing. And one who might perhaps offer relief, be it even a bitter medicine, is missing. My daughter, how many souls receive me sacramentally in their hearts and put me in loneliness? I feel in them as inside a desert, as if I did not belong to them. They treat me like a stranger. But do you know why they do not take part in my life, in my virtues, in my sanctity, in my joys, and in my sorrows? Company means to take part in everything that the person who is near does and suffers. Therefore, to receive me and not to take part in my life is the most bitter loneliness for me. And remaining alone, I cannot tell them how much I burn with love for them, and so my love remains isolated. My sanctity, my virtues, my life are isolated. In sum, everything is loneliness in me and outside of me. Oh, how many times I descend into hearts and I cry because I see myself alone. And when I descend, in seeing myself alone, I feel neglected, nor appreciated, nor loved. So much so that I am forced by their indifference to reduce myself to silence and to sadness. And since they do not take part in my sacramental life, I feel apart inside their hearts. And seeing that I have nothing to do, with divine and invincible patience, I wait for the consummation of the sacramental species, inside of which my eternal fiat had imprisoned me, leaving only traces of my descent, because I have not been able to leave anything of my sacramental life, or maybe only my tears, because, since they did not take part in my life, the void was missing in which I might leave the things that belonged to me and that I wanted to place in common with them. This is why one can see many souls who receive me sacramentally, but they do not resemble me. They are sterile of virtues, sterile of love, of sacrifice. Poor ones, they feed themselves of me, but because they do not keep me company, they remain on an empty stomach. Ah, to what grips of sorrow and of cruel martyrdom is my sacramental life subjected! Many times I feel drowned with love. I would want to free myself, and I long to descend into hearts. But alas, I am forced to get out of them more drowned than before. How could I pour out if they did not even pay attention to the flames that burned me? Other times, the spate of sorrow inundates me. I long for a heart in order to have a relief to my pains. But no, they would want me to take part in their own, not they in mine. And I do it. I hide my sorrows, my tears, in order to console them, and I remain without the longed-for relief. But who can tell you the so many sorrows of my sacramental life, and how it is more those who receive me and put me in loneliness in their hearts, but bitter loneliness, than those who keep me company. And when I find a heart that keeps me company, I place my life in communication with her, leaving her the deposit of my virtues, the fruit of my sacrifices, the participation of my life. And I choose her as my dwelling, as the hiding place of my pains, and as the place of my refuge, and I feel as though repaid for the sacrifice of my Eucharistic life, because I find one who breaks for me my loneliness, who dries my tears, who gives me the freedom to pour out my love and my sorrows. These are the ones who serve me as living species, not like the sacramental species that give me nothing. They only hide me. All the rest I do on my own. They tell me not a word that would break my loneliness. They are mute species. While in the souls who serve me as living species, we carry out our life together. We palpitate from one same heartbeat. And if I see her disposed, I communicate my pains to her, and I continue my passion in her. I can say that from the sacramental species I pass to the living species, to continue my life on earth, not alone, but together with her. You must know that pains are no longer in my power, and I keep asking for them out of love from these living species of souls, that they may make up for what is lacking in me. Therefore, my daughter, when I find a heart that loves me and keeps me company, giving me the freedom to do what I want, I reach the excesses, I hold nothing back, I give so much that the poor creature feels herself being drowned by my love and by my graces. It is then that my sacramental life no longer remains sterile when I descend into hearts, no, but it reproduces itself, bilocating and continuing my life in her. And these souls are my conquerors, who administer their life to this poor one in need of pains, and they say to me, my love, you had your turn of pains, and it ended. Now it is my turn, therefore let me stand in for you, and let me suffer in your place. And oh, how content I remain. My sacramental life remains at its place of honor, because it reproduces other lives of its own in the creatures. Therefore, always together with me do I want you, that we may live life together, and you may take to heart my life, and I may take to heart your own.
Fiat.